Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Dirty and
DZAN. What is going on? Welcome to episode 22. It is Wednesday, September 22nd, but for you, Friday, the 24th. Dirty, it is International fucking Fight Week.
Wow.
The time has come. Here we are, King.
Right on.
Time's here. Here it is.
Right on.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
As of recording this, you guys know it is Wednesday, so tomorrow is the Hall of Fame inductees, where the class of 2020 will finally be inducted, because you guys know last year there was no ceremony. So we'll finally get to honor the John Jones and Gustafsson 1 fight. That'll go into the Hall of Fame, as well as GSP finally going in the Hall of Fame, and Kevin Randleman, long overdue. So that'll be really great to watch and see. What do you got going on, Dirty, this week in particular?
I just want a couple of things here. First of all, the GSP thing, absolutely fucking dope, man. That is so fucking cool. But also today, as you know, I'm a fan of Pat McAfee's podcast, and he's got Uncle Dana on today, so that ought to be interesting. Being that it's fight week, you know, Dana sent him one of those, I forget what they call it. It's that machine that they invented, that where you it's like a jugs machine kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
But it's specifically for MMA. Anyway, they're really expensive. And today I watched the intro of the Pat McAfee show, and he was talking about the fact that Dana did send him one of these, and a complete Venom package, and some gear from the Poirier Conor fight. Yeah, he hooked him up, man.
Fucking A.
Hooked him up. So yeah, that'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, that'll be pretty dope to watch.
Yeah,
that'll be pretty dope to watch. NFL fucking week 2 happened. Holy shit. How did well, yeah, I'm sorry about your boys.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of injuries, man.
Yeah.
A lot of injuries. We're still in that game. And there were a lot of injuries. Lost TJ Watt, lost Tyson Alualu, who was a very, very big, important piece to that defense. And obviously Joe Hayden and Devin Bush didn't even start the game, which, I mean, that I knew we were in trouble right then.
Right out the gate.
Yeah. And then, listen, and I've said this before, this is a brand new offensive line with basically 3 rookies. 2 rookies, but the one didn't play much last year. So, I mean, you got 3 brand new offensive linemen. And then we brought in Trey Turner from Carolina / Chargers. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. Hang on 1 second, please. I'm really sorry about that, guys. So, but yeah, they picked up Trey Turner, brought him in on the right tackle. They've got a rookie blindside left tackle. Yeah, it's going to be a long season. Man. There's going to be more. Listen, Pittsburgh's going to win some games they shouldn't win. They're going to look really good at times. Najee Harris and Pat Freiermuth have been 2 tremendously gifted athletes. And Najee is showing those flashes right now. The game last week, he looked really good on some runs. So, and then Pat Freiermuth, the tight end from Penn State, real deal. He's got, they call him Baby Gronk. He got that name in college, and for good reason. So, but anyway, it's going to be a long season.
Yeah, man. I mean, there are already some teams that are just really showing a lot of promise already. You know what I mean? I mean, the obvious ones, the Buccaneers putting on a clinic against the Falcons. The Patriots completely shutting down the Jets. I mean, they got two kicks off. That was it. 2 kicks on the board. That was it. I mean,
if you remember me saying to you last week, I think it was last week. We were talking about Matt Ryan, and
Yeah.
I mean, his time was over a few years ago. I'm absolutely dumbfounded that they haven't pushed him out yet.
Right.
It's very surprising to me. That whole team just looks old to me.
Yeah, I mean the writing's on the wall. I feel like now.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
So,
but you're right though. With the clinic with Tampa, I think
Bills. I think
we're
they shut out the Dolphins, right? Didn't the Bills? I'm pretty sure they shut them out. It was like
the Bills
30. Yeah. I mean, that was such a sad game. 35-0.
Did you see Tua get laid out, man? Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
Dude, he can't keep taking those fucking hits, man.
Oh man, no. Nope. The older you get, the more you're in there, the harder those shots become. They look the same, but they
the
hit
more
you harder.
They pile up, you know.
Yep.
So, but you know what? I remember last year. Speaking of Colin Cowherd, I remember last year. A year before last, watching his show and him talking about Tua, and I remember the words. Now, he chose his words carefully, but I remember him saying that he believes that Tua has the ability to go on to be the greatest quarterback of all time. And I remember when he said that, I was absolutely dumbfounded because this is already coming. This was after the hip injury,
right,
at Alabama. And I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe if he's healthy and you know, he's not a big guy. You know, so I hate this thing where everybody has to have the hot take, and that's just the world we're living in now.
Yep.
And
unfortunately,
it's just driving me nuts because, you know, you've got people like Colin Cowherd that is just throwing the dirt on the grave of every team that he doesn't believe is going to finish in the top 4 in the league. That's not how the NFL works. And that's not how NFL fans operate. And the sooner people like Colin get this through their fucking skull, him, Stephen A., every week doesn't have to be the end of the world for your fucking football team.
Right.
It's a 17. We just added a week to the season. This is a long season. And we got people jumping off of bridges, man. For what? Because your team is 1-1.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And how many times have we seen a team rise up out of the ashes and go on a run and, you know, maybe not win the Super Bowl, but win a game or two in the playoffs? We've seen this. It seems to happen every year.
I was going to say it seems to happen more often than not. Yeah. More often than you think.
Yeah. But when you have that Stephen A., Colin Cowherd mentality,
right,
you've already painted yourself in a corner now.
Right.
I don't understand this philosophy where you've got to be the first one to say it. So fucking what? So you were the first one to say it. Who gives a shit? It doesn't mean anything to me. You've got kids that they've got hopes and dreams that they have gambled their lives and bet their futures by leaving college, and instead of going and becoming a doctor or an attorney or something like that, they decide to chase their dream of being an NFL player. And, you know, you got guys like that that are ready just to piss in your mouth over it. You know,
exactly.
I don't like it, man. I don't like it at all. It's unfair.
Yep. Especially this early in the season, to your point. I mean, ridiculous. There's no point to it. There's no point to it yet, you know, or at all. But look, week 3, we got a lot of really great matchups. Chargers and Chiefs should be a really great matchup. The Saints and the Patriots is going to be a good one.
Chiefs and Chargers and Chiefs and Raiders are always
always good games.
Yeah. Guys, I'm sorry. I know I keep looking in this camera over here, and DZAN reminded me that I'm on my other camera, so I kept looking up here, and I'm so used to doing it with DZAN. So sorry about that, guys. I'll have the right camera back next week.
But yeah, I mean, maybe the Giants will catch a break next week with the Falcons. We'll see, because they're 0-2 now. We get our first divisional game against the Eagles. It's gonna be a good
Boys are
week.
playing the Eagles.
Yep, we're playing the Eagles
Oh,
Monday. Yeah, Monday the 27th. So we get the
shit.
Monday night.
You and Michael.
Here we go. Oh yeah, that's right.
He's a big Eagles fan. Yeah.
It's disgusting, really. It's disgusting. All right. So moving away from the NFL, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about some sad news that came out before the International Fight Week. And that is two legends in the sport, Joseph Benavidez and Carlos Condit, officially hung up
I
the
did
gloves.
not know about the Joseph Benavidez one.
Yeah, it was just 2 days before Carlos.
Okay, I missed that one. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense to me, especially, well, both of them make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Carlos coming off that great win, and it almost felt like he knew that at that, he's like, you know what, I can ride off in the sunset on this one. That was a great knockout. I'm good. You know what I mean? And more power to him.
Yeah, and you know how I feel about the natural born killer. He's one of my favorite all time. I love Carlos Condit, but I love the fact that he is retiring on a win.
Yes.
So few people have that ability. Yep. And it just makes me proud of him for doing it in this manner. At first I was, at first I was really sad about it, but at the same time, I immediately remember my conversation with you about it.
Right.
It wasn't that long ago where I said, I don't like seeing my heroes look like that, and
right. Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm glad that he did it this way.
He did it the right way, right? Yeah, he did it the right way. He got the win.
Joseph Benavidez gets to go home every night to Megan O'Leary. we'll be okay with that.
He literally said she can be my sugar mama.
Here. Yeah,
he literally was like, she can be my sugar mama now. I'm good.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah, he's like, I'm good. We're good. So he said, I never needed to fight. 15 years for Joseph Benavidez. All respects to those legends.
Absolutely. And that guy is a class act.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Genuine. Always love those fighters. Ladies and gentlemen,
hang on. Are you gonna wait? No. I'm not gonna.
What? I was about to apologize.
I know you. No. I know you're a fucking jock writer, but I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you get away this week without talking about that fucking first pitch.
We don't need to talk about.
Oh no, we need to talk about the first pitch that Conor McGregor threw.
There was a lot of proper 12 involved. I wouldn't.
Well, then in that case, it makes sense because that's exactly
the Mac is back, and so are the Cubs. Let's go,
Lordy.
Yes, I will admit that was look. It was great to see him at my boy's game, getting the proper 12 Cowboys jersey. He met Sean O'Malley there too. They were both there for the Cowboys game, Cowboys Chargers game. So they met backstage as well. Good to see Conor at the Cowboys game. All right, we ready to move on? Yeah.
We are.
No, look, I saw it.
He's
and it was I laughed out loud. I was like, oh my God. And I saw the animation this morning.
The Mojad.
We give him so much shout outs. We need to get the name right one of these days.
I really should get that right. But you guys don't know what we're talking about. It's Muhammad, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Muhammad.
You know what? I'm going to look it up right now because
do that because we talk about it so often in he does these animation cartoon things for UFC. Basically, he does some boxing ones once in a while too, but primarily everything revolves around the UFC. And so basically, if you're not aware, not only does he basically reanimates in a very short form fights that take place. So like when
I can't pronounce this fucking name.
Yeah, I know.
Mojahed, Mojahed, and then
Mojahad,
and then Fudailati. Fudalat. Okay. Mojahad Fudalat.
Mojahad Fudalat. Well, that's what we'll go with. But
great animation. Mojahad.
Great job. And what he does is he condenses a fight. So, a 3-round fight, he'll do it in a 2-minute video. by animating it and just kind of glossing
Exaggerating,
over things,
right? What
but
happened,
at
right?
the same time, exaggerating things. But then also, the other thing he does is that he builds on each character. So, like Conor McGregor, for example, he rides around in that scooter thing all the time now. Yeah. And he has a titanium foot. Okay. And he says titanium shin bone. And then every time he says that, this titanium thing just kind of covers him. Like, what was the movie? Out. What was the movie where they did that, where the suit just kind of
like the Iron Man is kind of what it reminded me of. As soon as he did, and it's all that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. So, but it's just from his knee down. And so
that's when he kicks ass.
He can kick ass. It's kind of like the Incredible Hulk or Popeye eating spinach. That's the effect that it has. And then also he's got a rocket booster at the bottom, which allows him to fly away and stuff.
And he's got a football in the other foot because his foot was a balloon and football.
No, he had a football shape hematoma on his thing. Right. So now on the other leg,
continuity grows.
Yeah, the continuity and it just stays forever. Yeah. So, and he always uses the Tyron Woodley thing where Tyron Woodley said, "Oh, my rib."
Yeah, my rib.
He uses that all the time, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's my shit. Dana always comes to his.
Connor is always yelling for Dana, and then Dana comes running to him and saves his ass, and gets him out of trouble, gets him out of a jam. It's so funny.
Yeah, I really love it. Yeah. But yeah, that was embarrassing. It was funny to watch. But I'm glad that was that was what people were talking about, and not just a whole bunch of shit. Some shit.
That's true. Yeah.
It was a good break. It was a nice little breather, right? All right. So this is what I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen. I, on behalf of Dirty, apologize. Last Friday, we failed to get up our picks for UFC Vegas 37. But I got to tell you,
truth be told, let me just cut him off for a second, because he wasn't going to say anything. he wasn't going to say anything, and I originally wasn't, but I haven't felt good this week at all. And anybody out there that knows me knows I've got some things going on. And so I haven't felt good at all. I'm really trying to get my energy up here. And as always, DZAN's carrying all of the load here. So thank you, DZAN. Appreciate your help there, brother. And we owe him nothing.
He says, I was going to say, he's saying it just with complete lack of any empathy or anything. All right, listen, guys. I feel like we would have done pretty damn good on this card. I feel like Dirty would have chose Anthony. I would have chose Anthony as well.
We would have went 5-0.
Yeah, I and Kutalaba. Yeah. I had Lipsky as well. I mean,
we would have went 5-0.
We would have went 5-0. Okay, guys, let's just say that. Let's talk about.
Hey, I did hit a parlay.
Buckley. Yeah, you hit a parlay. Oh, did you? Did you on
over?
You shared a couple of parlay. Not last week, but the week before. You shared a couple of a lot of little ones that you were doing.
I did a 5-leg parlay and hit on it. I'm not going to tell you how much I bet because it's embarrassingly low, but but I did hit on a 5-leg parlay on an over/under. I was so fucking stoked, man.
Fuck yeah!
I will tell you this. I made 30 times the amount I bet.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. Small fortune for Dirty.
It was a very small fortune.
Hey, let's talk about Joaquin Buckley getting the knockout in the third round, really close to the end, hunting for it. Almost looked like it was behind the back of the head, but the uppercut is the one that knocked him out. But that was a really good fight.
But you never know what leads to it, though. You're right.
Exactly.
Right.
Nate Maness. Damn, Nathan Maness, what a beast. Saved by the bell in the first round, almost gets knocked out. In the second round, he comes out and gets the knockout. Really.
Yeah.
So we got Joaquin Buckley, Nathan Maness, and Arman Sarwarkian getting the bonuses, the $50K for their knockouts. Great job to them. And then Anthony Smith getting his bonus for his submission, and he's going to be getting a Tesla and a golf cart, is what he said.
By the way, listen, we shit on Sean O'Malley a lot. But and I didn't open it up, but I am subscribed to his YouTube channel. I'm subscribed to a lot of YouTube channels I don't even watch, but I think he gave away a couple of Teslas.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That's what it looked like to me.
Damn, Sean.
Yeah.
Doing it that big, Mally?
At least one, I know. But I want to say there was a couple involved, maybe. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, pretty
Well,
well.
all right.
Yeah. Baller, man.
Yeah, no shit. He's gotten some sponsor money for sure with that one.
Well, the truth behind all of that stuff and those giveaways and all of that stuff, it's just a paper chase, really.
Yeah.
There's no big loss by anybody involved because they just apply it to their taxes.
Right. Nice little write-off at the end of the year.
It doesn't probably even register at all. And I'm not being funny here. I'm not saying that it's not registering because he can absorb the financial hit. I don't think there's going to be a hit at all.
Right.
So that's the truth behind things like that. But nevertheless, it's a lot of work, and it doesn't have to be done. Most people don't do stuff like that. So, as much as we shit on him, and I do shit on him from time to time.
Yeah.
We both do. But you got to call out a good one when you get one. So
yeah, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Lipsky dominating for 3 rounds. Mandy has some heart, but she got knocked down every fucking round. I mean, it was crazy how one-sided that fight was. I love me some Lipsky, so it was really great to see her get a win. Ion Cutelaba.
One second, guys. Just go ahead, will you?
Yeah, no problem. Ion Cutelaba knocked. I want to pull more attention to Devin Clark than Ion Cutelaba for a second, because I think it was in the second round where Ion Cutelaba literally punched his bottom teeth in. There were some pictures on social media, and I believe they showed it even after the fight, but it looked like his bottom row, the 3 middle teeth were pushed up from the gum. After the fight, they were able to replant the teeth. But holy shit, to even have that happen and then go through and still continue to fight at the same pace, at the same power. I mean, I just want to give all respects to Devin Clark. Of course, the win went to Iwan. I'm going to say Iwan Cutelaba, getting the decision. I thought he was going to get the finish, but that only speaks to the heart of Devin Clark. You know what I mean? And then I'm just going to start talking about the Anthony Smith fight because fuck me, right? Here we go. Anthony Smith and Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann had a lot to say leading up to this fight. A lot of shit to say leading up to this fight. If there's one thing that Anthony Smith is good about, it's being the gangster in the room by staying silent and just letting that shit happen. So then when the fight comes, he speaks through his fists. And holy shit, did he dominate. It only took 3.5 minutes. I think it was 3 minutes and 47 seconds into round number 1. And he got the submission, rear naked choke. And that was after jabbing him to death. I mean, the jabs were getting him offline a little bit. And then one crazy right hand to knock him down and out. Absolutely insane. 100% respect to Anthony Smith. And then what about that little scuffle after the fight? Check this out. He said, "How'd you like that ass whooping?" I was hoping that this would. But I mean, look at that shit. What a great fight. Jabbing the man to death, just jabbing him to death.
He looked unbelievable, man.
I mean, he was not for the shit talk. He's like, all right, look at those jabs. And then right here, this right hand right here, boom, Jesus. I mean, Ryan Spann did not look like Ryan Spann. I'm sorry. He's usually so much more. He was being dominated. This is usually Ryan Spann's game right here.
It's funny you said that because how many times have and I think we're all guilty of this, at least to a certain degree, but where you watch a fight and you think, oh my God, my fighter looked unbelievable.
Yeah.
Or, the Conor McGregor looked unbelievable against whatever. John Jones looked unbelievable against, but then we don't think about the opponent. We just think about how good our fighter looked. But we don't think about the injuries, the mental things that have taken place for the past 6 weeks. We don't talk about the fact that he was going through a divorce and ready to lose his kids. And, there's so much.
Right.
And this is why I always told my kids, because my dad told me when I was a kid, fighting is 90% mental. You can beat somebody before you even throw the first punch. And that's just real talk. There are so many people out there that just can't handle the mental warfare. They're just not built for it.
Yeah.
But there's also a myriad of other reasons that all coalesce into a single fight. And so while we love to celebrate and talk about the great victory from our favorite fighter, we don't consider the fact that maybe our fighter wasn't that great.
Right.
Maybe the person that they were fighting was just having a bad day or a bad month or a bad year. And, so when you talk about Ryan Spann like that, I like that, because so many times we're just ready to crown the next champion to get the hot take, right? And not talk about, well, that person didn't look like their normal self.
Right.
It's a big, big part of fighting that people always forget or don't want to discuss for whatever reason. So,
100% agree. 100% agree. That was UFC Vegas 37. Really great fight card right before International Fight Week. We will get to UFC 266. Before that, I want to talk about Leon Edwards real quick and how fucking frustrating he's being right now.
Listen,
saying he's not.
Hang on. I got to pull back the veil here a little bit. DZAN is not a fan of Leon Edwards.
I'm not.
And truth be told, I never was. I remember, just a couple years ago when he was out all of that time.
Yeah.
And everybody talking about him as though he was
the uncrowned king, right?
Yeah. And why doesn't he have a belt?
Right.
Are you watching the same fighter I'm not. Listen, and then the Nate Diaz thing. Nate Diaz fought him after not fighting for a long time, especially over the course of the past 4 or 5 years. Nate has not fought.
Right.
And then you double up on that by, the fact that Nate in that last round,
that's all everybody could talk about, because he almost
all anybody talked about.
That's all you remember from the fight, and that's exactly
all
what everybody
we remember
said.
from the
that's
fight.
All everybody said. It's like, you know what? This is all everybody's going to remember, and that was exactly it. And now he's saying he's not interested in fighting Jorge Masvidal. The next fight's going to be for the belt. Listen, that is the no-brainer fight for him. That is the easiest fight that he could take as being the most high profile. He is a very technical fighter. And I think this is where a lot of people say he's the uncrowned king and this and that, he should have a belt. He is very technical. He's a very technical striker, but you're not in there enough with the elite of the elite for you to really be acting like you deserve it like that. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
I don't know. So I'm not going to say this very matter-of-factly, but I have yet to see Leon Edwards fight with heart. He's never had to. I really. And then the one time when the aforementioned Nate Diaz fight, the one time when he did have to kind of try to show some heart, I didn't see it.
Right.
It was vacant. It was devoid. There was nothing there to me, to my eyes. And so, unless or until I see a fighter show that heart, I'm not a believer. And I'm never gonna support a fighter like that without seeing, especially after as many fights as we've seen Leon fight.
Right.
Nate Diaz, Dustin Poirier, Habib, Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson, John Jones. These guys have shown a lot of heart.
Mm-hmm.
Then and I'm not going to name all of them that come to the top of my brain, but then you've got some that run from it when they have to put their heart in it and tap out.
Yeah.
You know, and so I don't know. I'm not a believer yet, and I'm not saying that I'm out on Leon Edwards. I'm just not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. I think he needs to either have his management do a little bit more of the work when it comes to setting up those fights, or he needs better management because
and a PR,
like I said, he's got the potential and everything.
Yeah. That's a very good point, DZAN, because how many times did we all look at each other like, why isn't he saying something? Remember when all that stuff was going on? He didn't say anything.
Nothing.
And it's like,
nothing.
Why isn't your manager,
or why aren't you capitalizing on these opportunities for you to get your name in the hat, get yourself in there? You're just, and he never said
a word.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's a very frustrating fighter. There are those frustrating fighters, and he's definitely one of them. I just wanted to get Dirty's thoughts on that because I'm like, come on, man. So we'll see what's next for Leon. Well, who knows? Maybe UFC will kind of pressure him into doing that fight, because honestly, it is the only one that really makes sense if Jorge doesn't have anything else lined up. All right. Before we talk about our picks,
I wrote a song.
What? What?
Why are you laughing?
Because I know this is.
Am I a musician?
Okay. No, I'm in the bit. No, go ahead. No,
Am I a musician?
You are a musician.
Would you consider me a musician?
Yes, absolutely.
Then why, when I say I wrote a song, do you automatically start laughing, assuming it's going to be some kind of joke?
I feel like I know you, and I saw the way your mouth moved when you said it, and I'm like, okay, here we go.
Then I'm not going to play it.
No, please. I don't want to
put my guitar down there.
Oh my God.
Forget it. Never mind.
Fucking kidding me? What the fuck is that? Is that a playable guitar? No.
It's got strings on it. I was going to play a song, but apparently you guys don't want to hear it. So.
At all. It sounds like you're snapping rubber bands. Jesus.
I think it's fish string.
Oh my God. That's really cute though. That's really cool. Yeah. Where the hell did you get that?
Oh, my son bought that for me.
That is really cool.
Ironically, he bought this for me. If you see, it says Florida.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And he bought this for me when I was living back in Detroit, and he just came down to visit.
Oh, that's so funny. And now you're ended up.
Yeah. Now I'm
ended up there.
Yeah.
There you are. All right, listen, guys, before we start, giving our picks for 266, let's talk about a little bit of breaking news that happened like today, Wednesday, right? Tuesday night, actually, for the Contender Series. If you guys don't know, Dana White's Contender Series is up and running. Great series. He was dishing out the contracts last night, and he talked about Nick Diaz, where he said that Nick asked him last minute if the fight could be changed to 185 instead of 170. Not given a reason. Dana White just thinks he just doesn't want to cut the fucking weight. He just doesn't want to cut it. We'll see what happens. Robbie Lawler is touching down in Vegas today to talk to Dana about it. He hasn't officially agreed to it. I don't know what will happen. It might be in danger of being dropped. But let's assume that everything goes well.
Listen to me. It better not be. It better not be. Because this is bullshit.
Yeah.
You can't do this.
No shit.
Less than a week out from a fucking fight when you are the third fight.
It's already a remaining. 5-rounder. It's already a 5-round fight. You're already getting a little bit of preferential treatment with that.
Right before the co-main,
Yeah.
And now you're pulling this shit. Listen, I'm a big fan of the Diaz brothers. I think you guys know that. But there's some times when they step out of line and they need slapped back in line. And this is one of those situations.
Dan Dana, well, what do you think about this? He's like, I know you guys, probably aren't used to this because he hasn't fought in a long time, but this is what happens. It may shock you guys, but it's not shocking to me that he's asking for this. It's really not, because I just feel like he doesn't want to cut the weight. And when Nick doesn't want to do something, he's just not going to fucking do it. So he's like, I know.
And he can never understand why nobody understands.
Yeah. He's like, I don't get why you guys are. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
it's maddening.
Assuming everything goes well and both agree to 185, does this change anything when it comes to your pick dirty?
Yeah. Well, no. With these two, no.
Okay.
With these two, but this is a very unique situation. How many times have you seen Robbie Lawler and Nick Diaz fight, especially in 2021?
Right.
So this is a really unique situation. I was going to pick Nick anyway, just because, and Robbie is one of my all-time favorites. Go back and watch it, guys. He's on my top 10 list.
Yeah.
As much as I hate saying this, because I am such a big Robbie Lawler fan, he is so punch drunk. He is so punch drunk. And I don't like the fact that he's fighting to begin with. He doesn't need any more shots to the head, man. That he's one of the few guys in MMA. In boxing, it's just a list of who's who that can't take another shot. But in MMA, that's pretty rare. But Robbie Lawler would definitely fit into that category, in my opinion. So
yeah, and I know the argument for that is always that, well, he's still young, he's 36 or 37, but the fact is that he started when he was 19. He was a teenager. Exactly. So it's not how old he is now, it's about the amount of time that you spend in the sport, right?
And it's not even just that. It's the fact that he was fighting in a completely different era.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you're talking about, they got away with murder back then.
Yeah, the dark ages. He made it through the dark ages with the UFC. So we'll see. Look, let's get into the picks. All right.
I'll tell you what. Hang on one second, guys. Okay, I didn't have my shit together here, guys. Sorry about that. All right. So we'll go fight by fight, right?
Yep. Let's start it out with the first fight.
The first fight is Jessica Andraj versus Cynthia Calabio. This is a no-brainer to me, but I say that, but Vegas doesn't necessarily think so. She is a minus 280. Jessica Andraj is a minus 280. Cynthia Calabio is a plus 225. So clearly Vegas has Andraj, but a lot closer than I do. I don't think it's going to be that close, but Vegas, listen, man, this is something that people don't understand. If Vegas is telling you something, you should listen. Mm-hmm. That's just real talk. If they're saying something that you're not saying, I would reevaluate what it is that you are saying, because these people do this for a living and they're really good at it. Go ahead.
Yeah. To your point, this is like you've been saying before, this is the toughest sport to try and bet on and analyze, but these guys do it as best as you possibly could. They do it as best as you possibly could without knowing the behind the curtains of it. What do they analyze? Jessica Andrade's last performance wasn't that great. Usually it's fucking fantastic, right? She faced the bullet last time, wasn't that great. Cynthia Calvillo, last 3 times, fucking fantastic. There's a lot of those things that could be playing to it, right? Like of why it's not, why they see it as being really, really close. That's all you can look at is what happened in the past, but it's not one of those sports where you can just kind of predict off the head, like, oh, that's obviously going to happen. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, I got Jessica Andraj over Cynthia Calabio. What do you got?
I agree on that one. I think Jessica Andrade is going to put the pressure on. I think she has a lot to prove from her last performance. Not only did she get dominated, but she got dominated in the fashion that she said she was going to dominate the bullet. So she has a lot to prove on this one. I think that she's going to come out aggressive, and I think she's going to get the win.
You know, in all fairness, everybody has a game plan against the bullet.
That's right.
Next fight, this is unbelievable. Rosenstrick versus Curtis Blades.
Wow. Fucking wow.
Yeah, wow is right. I this is the one that's got me stumped the most.
Okay. All right, let's talk about it.
I feel decent about the rest of them, but this one here has me stumped, man, because the last time, if you recall, you called Curtis Blades, and who do you fight?
Derek Lewis. Where's Lewis?
Derek Lewis. Yeah. And it was, matter of fact, it was in Houston, right?
Yeah.
And did not expect that Curtis Blades to show. And that's what I'm getting at, is I don't know which Curtis Blades is going to show up. If it's the Curtis Blades that showed up last fight, then we've got a real fight on our hands.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, and it has been not before,
right,
several times when I've seen Curtis Blades fight. But man, he's such a great wrestler. I'm going to take the safer pick. So Curtis Blades is a -210, and Rosenstrick is a +245. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go Curtis Blades. I'm going to listen to Vegas.
All right. I love that you brought up the point of Curtis Blades having that fantastic wrestling. I don't think that he is going to get to use it in this fight. I got Jairzinho Rosenstruck on this one. I think that Rosenstruck is going to be too technical for Curtis. I think he's going to shut down the legs and stop the takedowns. I think Rosenstruck's going to get the knockout in this one. I know we don't go method on this one, but I just see it in my head. Blades has always done this thing where he does so fucking well, but he always finds a way to lose. And I just haven't bought back in completely on Curtis. I'm going Rosenstruck on this one.
Next, we have the aforementioned fight, Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler. It's a pick 'em fight. Nick is a -100.
Yeah, so it's pretty much dead even.
Yep.
I mean, and since this is a Diaz fight, since it is a 5-rounder, we will be picking the method as well.
It is a 5-round fight too. Yep. Yes, so we have to pick the method.
Get the next.
I'm going to take Nick via submission. 4th round.
Okay.
Third round. I don't think Robbie can go past the 3rd round.
Wow. All right. I love it. I think whether this fight's in 185 or 170, I think that this is going to actually go to a 5-round decision. And
not
I think
a chance.
And I think
not a chance.
I do believe it. I see it in my head that Nick Diaz is going to win by decision. So I gotta write that down for myself here real quick. So if it goes the distance, it's going to be a decision. No, I said Nick Diaz decision, asshole. Okay. Making me sound stupid. Man. All right. All right. That's you know what? That'll be really cool. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, we're both full of shit anyway. Valentina Shevchenko, Lauren Murphy. Valentina is a -1250. There's no meat on the bone, man. Lauren Murphy is a +750. Honestly, that's really unfair, and that's Vegas fucking you. That's Vegas fucking you, because They're giving you minus 1250. So if you bet $100, you win $12.50.
Right? Yeah.
Right. You don't win $112.50. All right. And then but Lauren Murphy's a plus 750. That's a great disparagement. You're talking about 500 points. That's $5 to every dollar you bet.
Yep.
That they're saying, okay, we're going to let you bet on Lauren Murphy, but we're not going to give you the big payout.
Right.
So I don't know. Originally, I was thinking, I might put a couple bucks on Lauren Murphy just because of the odds. I'm picking Valentina Shevchenko, obviously. And as a matter of fact, we got a new method. Let me go knockout. Let me go knockout third round.
Okay. Knockout in the third round.
Yeah.
All right. Dirty. I completely agree with you. The only thing I disagree with you on is the round. I think that the Bullet is going to get it done in the very first round. I think that she's going to knock out Lauren KO round one. I think that Lauren is a pressure fighter too, right? The Bullet is one of those fighters where you're never going to guess or assume what she does in a fight, because she is probably the most technical fighter in the UFC's roster, and she changes it up. She's like a John Jones in a way where she changes up her game plan based on who she's fighting.
I don't know anybody that you could name off, male or female, that is more technical than Valentina Shevchenko.
You really can't. You just watch her shadow box. You watch her train. The way she's doing these movements, the articulation, it's so fucking on point. It's ridiculous. What she did with Andraj, she's like, you want to take me down? I take you down. You know what I mean? You think you're going to get the best of me? This is my power, and she does this countless of times where she does things to the fighters that think they're going to do that to her. And so when she goes in, I feel like she is going to be putting the pressure on Lauren. Lauren has to put the pressure on first. She has to be first. She has to get her on the fence. She's got to make it dirty. And Valentina's not going to let that happen. Lauren's going to make a mistake and she's going to get knocked out in the first round. That's what I see. And it's going to be a fabulous night for the Bullet.
What do you think the chances are that they make out?
Well, if I had to put money down on it, I'd say probably not at all.
Oh.
Yeah. So sorry, Dirty.
Well, then I'm not paying the pay-per-view.
You're not buying that shit.
Fuck that.
Get out of here.
You're not gonna make out.
Listen.
That's so fucking
Dirty
stupid,
D.
man.
Dirty
All right.
D.
Next up, Alexander Volkanovsky, Brian Ortega.
This is the one I struggled with the most.
No, everybody. You are not alone on that one. I know you got your mind made up. Mine is not.
All right, let me go first.
So go first, but let me just say, first of all,
give us the odds.
Got a minus 170 favorite for Volkanovsky. So and it's even though, because it's a plus 150 for Ortega.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
And I know what your pick is. We normally don't do it that way, but when we were off camera there, we spoke just about this fight. And I know what yours is, and I'm inclined to go that direction as well. But I just wanted to say this. Before Tough started this season, there was no question in my mind that Brian Ortega was a better fighter. I just always felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
The more I got to know Volkanovsky through Tough, this is why they do Tough, right?
Right.
The more I got to know him and to see him in a daily manner,
right.
The more impressed I became with him. And that's why I'm where I'm at with all of this. So let me just, I'll just go now. And that
Go
way
ahead.
you can do your thing. I'm going to take Ortega.
Okay. How do you got him?
I'm thinking here. I'm somewhere. No, you know what? I'm going to go to the distance.
Okay.
I'm
So
going to
you
go
got
the distance with Ortega and give a split decision, which I know we don't have to do that. But I believe it's going to be such a tight fight. So I'm going to go split decision, Ortega.
Okay. Wow. All right. Now, with me, I see it Volkanovsky. I saw Volkanovsky for weeks. I had Volkanovsky up until yesterday. It wasn't until I saw the countdown. So I saw the countdown, and I saw the keys to victory with Dominic Cruz. And
he's so good with that stuff,
dude. It really opened my mind to how much I was already kind of on the fence a little bit. It really just opened my mind to how much Brian has that Volkanovsky just can't answer. It's his length, it's his unpredictability, it's the way he strikes, how accurate his strikes are, and the fact that he is a counter puncher that forces you to punch him. He's you know what? It's kind of strange because that's a lot like Nick and Nate, where they are counter punchers, but they force you into punching them first so that they can counter. Brian does that a lot. He does that a lot. Pressure to get the counter punch. Alexander, he loves to, change levels. And if he can't get the takedown, he likes to put his body on you and get you against the fence. That's what I see. And that's what I count on. And I see a second round submission.
I feel like I want to change my thing.
That's just really what I see. I feel like in the first round, Volkanovski is going to have a solid first round, putting the pressure on, and Ortega is going to have some pretty good pop shots in there, but it's going to be the second round where Volk pushes the pressure, tries to get him against the fence, and Ortega slips the arm around and gets a guillotine. I see it. Second round submission, Ortega wins. And I'm writing that.
I'll just leave it alone. You're
going to leave it? You're going to leave it?
I was going to switch the split decision
to
Volkanovski, but no, I'm going to, I'm really torn on this one, man. But yeah, I'll leave it alone.
You're going to leave it split for Ortega. Is that what we're sticking with right now?
Yep.
All right.
I think.
Great. I can still change it. There's still time. All right. And then I got him second round.
Don't forget, guys, to follow us on social media, because if there are any changes in our picks, which there shouldn't be, but there very rarely is. But if there, especially if a fight drops out, sometimes we adjust or whatever. So make sure you follow us on there in case something happens there.
Who knows? We might have to throw up a pick for Dan Hooker or for Marlon Moraes. If this Nick Diaz fight doesn't pull through, they're definitely going to be pulling one of those guys from the prelims. So
we didn't talk about the prelims a whole lot, but I want to say that I think Dan Hooker needs a good win here.
Oh, and I think he's going to get it, and he's up against the perfect person to get it.
That's exactly right. No, you're exactly right, because I think the UFC is trying to rebuild him back up.
Yes.
But that's my point, though, is that he needs, this has to be an impressive victory, I think.
Right.
Otherwise,
and I think it will. Nasserat is one hell of a striker. He's one of those names where, like, okay, this is the next up and comer. If Dan Hooker does not want to be a gatekeeper, he's got to fucking get the knockout right here. He's got to, or I mean, he's got to at least get the win. It's not like he's had bad losses. Dustin Poirier and who was his last one? Chandler. Those aren't bad losses. Yeah.
No, very respectable. And it could be a situation where those were 50-50s or whatever. But the Max Holloway fight, I mean,
yeah,
come on, man. That was just violent. But if he loses, and this is my point, if he loses or even wins a close fight, I think I think the UFC is going to have to make him go back to ground zero. I don't, and that's when you were surprised that he wasn't on the main card. I wasn't, because he's definitely on a downswing. And if you think about it, that's how the UFC operates.
Right.
They want to rebuild him back up. If something goes awry here. So
you are so fucking right, Dirty, because you hit the nail on the head, because the names could be interchangeable. We could have just been talking about Marlon Moraes, because the same thing has happened to him.
100%.
He's had killer performances, and then the last two times, you know what I mean? It hasn't been that great for him. He got knocked out, and then the Jose Aldo performance. Look, this right here is good. Let's get them both on that prelim right before the International Fight Week main card. And
because everybody's watching at that point.
Yep, absolutely.
Everybody, whether you're buying the pay-per-view or you're treating this as your headline fight, which
a lot of people do. A lot of people that can't afford the main card, they just watch the fight night, and then they'll go to social media for the. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So
they'll go to Dirty and DZAN on Instagram.
That's exactly what everybody does.
That's right.
If you're not doing that,
15
man,
of them.
you missing out, man.
All 15 of them.
By the way, I did. I'm going to throw something out there for you guys. We're going to make today's show for free.
For free. For free. Yeah, just give it out there for free. You don't got to pay shit.
You don't have to pay for today's show. You don't have to pay anything.
Right. So. For today's show. Right. Yeah. That's just for you.
Yeah. We're running a special. So
that's because it's International Fight Week.
It's International Fight Week. We're celebrating.
UFC 266 is going to be amazing, but Dirty, you know what? We have not done top 10s in a while. So I think that starting next week, we should start going through the UFC roster and start picking out kind of our top 10 favorite fighters from each division, maybe starting with the women's strawweight and kind of working our way up. I think that'd be great. Maybe get some people involved in here.
Why don't we go women's strawweight? And then once we hit the 125, we can just go from women to men.
Men. Yeah, I'm down with that.
And then obviously after 145.
Yep.
All men.
We'll just do all men. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah.
That'll be a nice little clip for somebody to put there. Yeah, we just do all men. And then they clip that. Yeah. Dirty and DZAN, they do all men.
They do all men. That's a Michael Frito move right there.
That is your MMA news for this week. But Dirty, I got a lot of fun stuff to start talking about in music. Do you have anything before we move on? Do we need to take a break before we move on?
Yeah, we do. Just give me 2 minutes here.
Okay. All right, let's do this. Music topics. We've had some albums that dropped. Of course, we've had a lot of albums that dropped this month, but a few more that dropped last week. Jelly Rolls dropped more of a country rap. I haven't heard that album yet. Gonna check it out, but Strange label mate Ritz dropped a project, an 8-track project called SOS. Pretty dope, but man, is it lacking that Strange music quality. Tech 9, even though he's so independent, he has some of the best quality than most industry labels have.
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible, the production quality. And if you go back and you listen to some of the Ritz albums while he was on Strange music, and then listen to this, it's almost undeniable how much better it was before. It's still a great project, but it's definitely lacking in quality for sure. But then we had a mainstream album pop off. Lil Nas X coming out with Montero. It's something. I'm still processing it. It sounds great to the ear.
Baby Keem, Kendrick Lamar, Family Ties was so ridiculous.
Yes,
dude. Oh my God, man. That was so fucking good, dude.
It's definitely going in my bin for visual of the year.
The video in itself, set aside the song, which was so good.
Yeah, so good.
So fucking good. But the video itself, that was a topic in itself. But the way Baby Keem and Kendrick, by the way, Baby Keem clearly hangs around Kenrick a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I know they're cousins, but they sound so similar.
So similar. Yeah.
But the way they came in certain points, it seemed like everything was coming out of left field. And I mean that in the most respectful way possible, not in a bad way. It's just, I love watching a movie, especially a scary movie, when you don't see it coming.
Right.
You don't see the knife coming, you know? And that's the way that song was written. You just didn't see everything coming. And I was constantly on edge, just waiting for that next thing to happen. And oh my God, man.
The back and forth was incredible between the two. The writing, the back and forth. It reminded me a lot. I don't know if you've heard the song Vegas from Eminem and Royce, but it reminded me a lot of Vegas because of how they would come in on the offbeat and almost finish each other's rhymes. And the way that they came in was, again, out of left field, but it almost felt like it was perfectly done and meant to be just like that. I got those vibes too. I did not do
Vegas.
Okay, yeah. So that's definitely one that Dirty's got to do. That's from the Shady 15 album, the 15-year anniversary of the Shady Records. It was a compilation album, and Vegas was one of the tracks on there. Great fucking album. But that track in particular reminded me a lot of Family Ties in the sense of how they went back and forth.
Just a great fucking tune, man. And I just did it this past weekend. And I did make sure that it got through on YouTube over there. So it is available, but man, oh man, I just haven't been that impressed with a song in so long. And I've been impressed with some music. Don't get it twisted. And anybody that follows me on the channel knows that, but that one there was so next level.
Yeah.
That it still has me reeling a week later or 5 days later. I'm still like in awe of that song, man. It was incredible.
And you know, and now that enough time has passed, and now that you have gotten a chance to fully listen to the album, listen to all the tracks on the album, can you please tell me and the people who aren't on your Patreon, what are your thoughts on King Disease 2, Nas's album? I've been dying to get your thoughts for the people.
Dude,
let's talk about it.
That was a fucking monster.
Was it not a masterclass from a legend? Holy shit,
dude!
The lyrical.
So here's something, and you do your thing there, but let me just say this real quick. There was something that happened to me as I was listening to that album, and it took 3.5 years to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's like true of any genre of music. If you normally don't listen to something, there's no way you're going to get it right away. It's just, there's certain songs you'll get right away, but those are songs by Dr. Dre and Snoop. You know, those Four on the Floor, just easy to vibe to songs, right?
Exactly. Bouncy, yeah.
But when I first got into this, I was all about the beats.
Yeah.
The lyrics and bars were kind of secondary to me.
Right.
As time has went on, that has kind of flip-flopped a little bit.
Right.
A little bit. Now, I'm still a producer. I'm still a musician. So I'm still about the beats. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. But in regards to my appreciation for hip hop, that album, for whatever reason, and I don't know why, all of the light bulbs went off.
Yeah.
Everything just clicked for me. So 2 major things happened from that reaction. First of all, I now see the absolute genius of Nas.
Yeah.
And I didn't before. And then the other thing is that album is absolutely incredible front to back, everything was a lesson. I felt when I was listening to it, I felt like everything it was just like gift wrap for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it forced me to get it. You're either going to get it from that or you'll never get it.
Exactly.
And that's what happened to me during that album. Unbelievable album. Unbelievable.
It's the perfect contrast to what I was saying a little earlier about Lil Nas X. And it's so funny that it's Lil Nas X because I've listened to that album
thing that everybody's Lil. Yeah.
I listened to the album and it sounds so great to the ear, but I'm searching for the substance, right? Whereas when you get a Nas album, the substance is there. It's just
pea soup
there. Every song has a point. Like to your point, there's a lesson in it, and that is what makes it have replay value to me and to a lot of hip hop fans of the more lyrical side of it. Right. We tend to struggle.
That is the part, and I'm sorry to cut you off here,
no,
but
you're good.
This is a really important part as far as my growth came from all of this. That was so important for me on a personal level. Regardless of whether that album goes triple platinum or whatever it does, that doesn't affect what I'm saying.
Yeah.
On a personal level, during the listening of that album, things just started clicking left and right. It seemed almost as each song that I listened to, I'm like, oh, okay. I see what he's doing here. And then I start seeing, because I did read the lyrics too.
With it, right, yeah.
Right. And I don't always do that. Sometimes it depends on who's sending me the PayPal too. But as I'm watching the layering, and when I'm doing a Lil Wayne or an M album and I read the lyrics, it's so easy for me to see the layering, right?
Right.
Whereas with Nas, everything was so cleverly disguised. Man, I'm telling you.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's this thing that he's perfected of the similar sounding syllables and the way he interlaces it in his rhymes. And this is something that J. Cole has really adopted from Nas. The way that he is able to not bend them like Eminem. Eminem does something different where he can take a word and twist it and bend it and make it rhyme with whatever he wants.
Banana.
Whereas Nas and J. Cole's and Commons as well, they take what's similar within the word, not the last syllable, but every syllable inside. And then their lines are all interweave with the same sound. So
Exactly.
Although the words don't
that's
rhyme,
what I was trying
I know exactly what you were talking about. And so that's why I wanted to interject real quick, because I know exactly what you're talking about. Your
verbiage will be a lot more comprehensive to people listening than mine.
It's the same way that Eminem will twist words to make them sound alike, whereas they do it in a way where they're grabbing the same syllables that sound alike and make it sound like it rhymes when it really doesn't. So it's an art that you perfect over years and years and years, and the writing again just gets better and better. We will be talking about this album again because in December, Dirty and I will be going over our favorite shit from the year, our favorite singles, our favorite albums, all that good shit. I'm
going to save you the suspense. That album will absolutely be on there.
Yeah, no shit. It was a fantastic album.
For me, off season will definitely
is definitely going to be up there too, which I have a little surprise for Dirty when we talk about singles of the week, because I know knowing Dirty, he has not heard about this one. But first, of course, me loving to keep Dirty in suspense, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something else. Eminem.
Really?
Yeah. I know. I'm so going to do this right now. You can take off your headphones. You can walk away, but I'm going to do it. I'm so moving
That's
on.
That's a dick move. I could Google it right now, right?
You can, but you have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay. Here we go.
It's something to do with Cole, I think.
It is. It does.
Yeah. See?
Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP3. Holy shit. Is this going to fucking happen? Ladies and gentlemen, are we getting? No. Listen.
Oh.
Guys.
Dude. You need to quit fucking around here, man.
Okay.
You're fucking everybody up.
But look, it could be. And this, look, I don't want to feed too much into it because I used to be like this and I used to feed into it too much. But Fred Reck is at it again. If you guys don't know who Fred Reck is, he's the guy that gave us the ominous clues to when Revival was going to be coming out. He gave us clues to when Music to Be Murdered By was going to come out. Yes, he posted on social media.
That was a good album, by the way.
Oh, he posted on social media, look at all the great projects I worked on this year. And he had the Music to Be Murdered By side B on there. And everybody's like, what the fuck? That hasn't came out yet. 1 week later, it dropped. So he's done this kind of thing before and he's back at it again. So last year, when he posted that, everybody went crazy and it kind of died down. This year, just recently, he posted a high resolution photo of Detroit with the caption that just said Motown with a couple of music note emojis. Since this is a high resolution photo and stands exist, we were able to look at the photo in detail and see that one of the buildings predominantly displays 1001, which, if you guys know, is October 1st. And would fall on a Friday.
I thought you were gonna say it was
well, yeah, like a code for the date, right? 10-1, which would be October 1st, which also happens to land on a Friday, which is when a lot of artists release their music nowadays. Not only that, if that wasn't enough, he then posted to a story an hour later.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
10-1?
Yeah, 10-1.
Hang on. That's a Friday.
Yeah, it's a Friday, October 1st. It's a Friday. That's when they release music. So people were like going crazy. Okay, is the album going to be coming out? Then an hour later, he posted to his story artwork of his old home, which, if you guys don't know, Marshall Mathers LP1 had him sitting on the stoop of that same home. Marshall Mathers LP2 had him sitting on the stoop of that same home. And here he is posting new artwork. This is artwork that we have never seen before.
I wonder who owns
of
that
the front of the house. It's condemned now, or it's abandoned now.
Yeah, but I'm sure somebody owns it though.
He rolled up on them in 99. We'll be talking about that in the next Slim Shady deep dive, but he does visit his old childhood home. It's pretty funny. They don't let him inside, but it's really funny. So that is all we have. So far, that's all we have, Stan. So let's go crazy. Go out there with anticipation until October 2nd. Live it up, people. Let's move on.
Assume that that's going to be the album.
Assume October 1st, Eminem is hitting us with Marshall Mathers LP3. Singles of the week. I just got 2 of them. One of them is Ack, Made One. This is his 3rd single coming off his album that is dropping October 1st. And so really dope track. But the one track that really rang out to me dropped last night, and it was a music video. Just one single verse, long verse from a guy, you may know him. He goes by J. Cole, and the song is called Heaven's EP. So fucking dope. That's it. J. Cole. He just dropped a song last night.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. He dropped a song and a visual last night. It's called Heaven's EP, and it is fucking dope, and it is going into DZAN's categories for verse of the year. It is just a single verse, single long verse.
What's the name of it?
It's called Heaven's EP.
Oh.
Right. It sounds like a project name, but that's the name of the song. The song is called Heaven's EP. It's fucking dope, and he dropped a visual to it as well.
I see that.
Something Dirty's got to check out.
Clearly.
Guys, it's fucking amazing. I listened to it 4 times already in between last night and this morning. So
you know what to do.
You know what to do. That's right. You know what to do. Put it in, people. That's all DZAN had, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a great week for music. It's going to be a great week for fights with International Fight Week. If anything comes up, even if I can't get Dirty's crazy ass.
Hang on.
What?
Before we go, he's got to get to work here, but I got to. This is something that's been weighing on my mind here and quite frankly, kind of just eating at me a little bit.
Okay.
You know, we're always talking about throwing the dirt on the grave of everything, get a hot take. And I'm seeing a lot of hot takes lately about, I say lately, and I mean, over the course of the past couple of years, about albums being dead, EPs and singles being the future. And while I agree that you're going to see a lot more EPs because they're a lot cheaper to do, and a lot more singles because you can do them quicker.
You just drop them, right?
Right. But you guys, we cannot twist this up, and albums are not going away. They're not. You know, when you have an album like The King's Disease 2, The Off Season, and so on and so on, these are masterpieces, you guys. Could you imagine going to The King's Disease and taking out half of those songs and just releasing the EP? That doesn't make any sense to me. That is a concept album. The Off Season was a concept album.
Yeah.
There's a theme that rolls through there. And
To Pimp a Butterfly.
To Pimp a Butterfly. Are you kidding me? That would be impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you know, what's the other one?
Good Kid, Mad City.
Good Kid, Mad City. Now that one there, you could chop it up, but To Pimp a Butterfly.
But even then, they did skits at the end of every track.
Yeah, I know.
They did.
I know.
You know what I mean? It told the whole story of
that
it,
one there. I could see where you could chop it up a little bit.
Right. Right.
To Pimp a Butterfly? No fucking way.
Yeah.
So that's just fodder for hot takes. And I have no interest in that. And
they said the same thing a few years back when Drake released a playlist, and they're like, "Oh, playlists are the future. Artists are just going to start releasing playlists." And it's just like 10 to 16 tracks. And the reason why they call it a playlist is because there is no continuity between the tracks.
Right.
They're just a bunch of tracks that they worked on. And that's just, people found that that's just a lazy format to release your music. So albums being
not to mention you don't have to master everything that way.
Right. Exactly. To get it out.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to make anything like that. You can just drop them, put them all in a collective list and put it out there. Right. And people weren't really vibing with it either then. This is the truest form of art. An album, when you talk about music, that is the truest form of art. That's where the artist can express themselves the most. So no, they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. And I wish my objective in bringing this up in the first place is to maybe start some momentum with just shutting that nonsense down.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just how I feel about it. So,
yep.
Hey guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us this week. If there is any crazy sudden changes with UFC 266,
please follow us, guys.
I'll jump on social media.
Please hit the like button on here.
Yes.
Please.
Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what's going on.
Stuff.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in every fucking week.
Love you
guys.
See you next time. Peace.
Peace.